I'm a little nervous, dude. Literally nervous at the moment. We get to see the full architecture of the app. Ooh, wait a second. Chat. Itch. Flo is saying, hi, Nuno Nation. Oh my god, this is so exciting, chat, honestly. What's up, Nuno Nation? It's Nuno here, and just a reminder that only 50% of you are actually subscribers of this channel, so if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to subscribe my channel, and now enjoy the video. What's up, PHP community? And oh boy, today we are going to use Laravel MCP, a package we have released yesterday, and will be so awesome. The goal is having you guys having a conversation with me through Cursor or through Cloud Code. And to help us out, we are going to use CodeRabbit. CodeRabbit is this software I've been using for reviewing my pull requests. What is MCP to begin with? Imagine that you have an hotel where people can do reservations. And what is MCP? It's basically allowing agents, things like Cloud Code, or Juni, or Cursor, allowing these agents to reach directly your website. And you need to provide this protocol in between to explain the agent what your website is about, what kind of things you accept, which is reservations, and what is the parameters of those reservations, maybe like things like the first day, the last day, and things like that. So this is exactly what MCP tool is about, is another entry point to interact with your application. Okay, another entry point, especially an entry point that is dedicated to AI agents. So the goal again is quite simple. We go to Cursor, we type, I am Nuno, say good morning to the Nuno Nation. Cursor will automatically understand that I want to interact with the Nuno Nation app, send the message to the app, and then it will display the timeline to me. Okay, will be a simple chat application, but through MCP. Let's just get started. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a model to this, okay? So I'm going to go to open my terminal real quick, and I'm going to just type PHP artisan make model dash migration, and the model name will be message, okay? There we go. We have a migration and a model for this. So the only thing I will do here is just go all the way down, and I'm going to type here table. This will be a string for the name. So this will be the person name, I think. And then if I go here, I'm going to go with text for the message. Next step is really write a few tests for this. Now, the message test will be quite simple. We are going to test the toArray method. I do that literally all the time because I like to test my toArray method to ensure that I'm not exposing any keys that I shouldn't. And the toArray method will expose the following keys. I want to expose the message and the name, of course, the created UT and the updated UT. And if I run past PHP, this should be okay. One test is failing. Interesting. Let's see what's happening. Oh, of course. App model's message doesn't yet have a factory. We need to work on that. So let's go here and type use as factory. Beautiful. Just call this message factory. Now, the message factory won't have a password, of course. The definition will be just the name and the message. Do I call it message or content? I forgot. Let's go to the migration and see that. So I have message. I don't like message. Maybe I'm going to name this content. It's a little bit better. Message content. Here we go. 1,000 times better. And I'm going to update the test so you can reflect that real quick. I'm going to click on unit, models, message test, and rename this to content. Okay. So if now run past PHP, we should be good. 6 tests passing as expected. Composer test. So this will run the entire test suite, including coverage and everything. Here we go. Beautiful. So we have a passing test suite, and we should be good to go. Now, during this week, something I've been doing is using CodeRabbit with all my projects, okay? And in case you don't know, CodeRabbit is this software that just reviews your code for you. And the way it works is that every single time you do a pull request, CodeRabbit will just come, as you can see here, and it will start processing the changes on the pull request. Something I have noticed, and I got super surprised with, is that because I have used it all the week, it started learning it with me a little bit and know exactly what I do love about code reviews. Oh, here we go. Basically, CodeRabbit already finished the code review, and I'm stoked to show you like how accurate this code review is. If we go all the way down, we see a few comments. This is interesting. This is interesting. Suggested me to add an index to the created UT. Now, this is interesting. It actually gives you stuff that static analysis wouldn't give you. For example, if you run PHP stand, we'll complain about types. If you run Pint, we'll complain about styling. If you run Rector, we'll complain about a useless else condition. But CodeRabbit gives you this nice stuff, which is, for example, you are very likely to pull the messages using the latest created it, and it's literally telling me, oh, can you add an index here because you are going to need this. This is literally one code review that someone, a human like me, would do. This is something that in Laravel Cloud, for example, I would review code like this. I will tell, hey, dude, can you add an index here? Because we are going to display the activity ordered by created at, for example, descendant. So, this is the kind of reviews that you get, which is absolutely awesome. Check this out. So basically, on the message model, we get to see that we forgot to declare the strict types 1 all the way top. We also get to see that we forgot to make this class final. I love it. And if you click on this committable suggestion, you can actually commit this suggestion, okay? So if you agree with this change, you can just come here and type commit the suggestion, and that's it, which I love it. We already actually solved some of the suggestions that CodeRabbit done. You can just add all of this and just type tests domain layer. So we are basically just testing the domain layer, quite enough, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So this is done. We can go here, appreciate the review by CodeRabbit, and type merge pull request, okay? So this is done. We have this pull request ready, and we have literally the domain layer fully ready for what is coming. So what we're going to do now is type PHP artisan make action, and we are going to call this create message. Okay, beautiful. Here we go. The action got created successfully. We don't need transactions because we are effectively just performing one action, which is creating the message itself. So what we can do here is type message create. Let's actually use the query thing. Here we go, create. And then I'm gonna create this with name, which will be an argument. Here we go. And the content itself. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Here we go. Here we go. All right. I'm going to return this as well. So this will return message. Okay, so create message action will handle this by creating this on the database. Guard attribute assignment. Use the name attribute is guarded. Is guarded? Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm going to unguard it if it's guarded. How about now? How about now? What do you have to say, dude? What do you have to say? All right, so this is the create message action. I think we can quickly test this real quick too by going to unit actions and then remove this git keep real quick and just create this create message action test. This will be the most simple test I have ever written in my life. Let's type it creates messages, provide the function. This will be the action itself, which we can resolve out of the IOC container. And then we create an action with a test in the test message, and we expect the message, this. Beautiful. All right. This should actually, why this is complaining? Let's rename, let's not use content here. I don't like the content thing because the content is actually a method on eloquent models. So let's actually do that as part of this pull request too. Let's use body, I think. We may have to rename a couple of places here. So this will be body now. All right. This should be good now. And it is, I think. It is. Yes, 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 yes. PHP stand, reactor, everything is running. All the tooling we love is literally running at the moment, which is absolutely awesome. Go. Beautiful, beautiful. So we can just type git add -p. We can type git checkout -b feat actions. Okay, pushing all this stuff. And let's open a pull request. So we have CodeRabbit reviewing this for us. Now, while we wait for CodeRabbit to review this, I want to show you something about CodeRabbit, which is super interesting, which is actually you get very accurate reports about how your team is doing. So you get to see all of that on this beautiful dashboard. For example, you get to see how many pull requests were made, how many pull requests and suggestions from CodeRabbit were made too, how many of them were accepted, how many learns were used, and how many learns are being created. And this is actually super important. Probably the best feature I enjoy during the week is this learning section. So while I was interacting with CodeRabbit, every single time I thought, all right, CodeRabbit should have interacted here, I just interact with CodeRabbit saying, hey, can you please next time make sure this class is final, or next time make sure this PHP annotation is removed or whatever. And it will basically do those things the next time it reviews code. Let's talk about pricing, by the way, which is important. In terms of pricing, it's literally for free on open source, but you still also get 2 weeks for free before using it in private projects. So what you guys can do is that if you have open source projects, you can use CodeRabbit for free. If you have a private project and you really believe on the tool, you can sign up and just use it for 2 weeks and then decide if you actually want to use the little or the pro plan. Currently, I'm on the pro plan and I am having a blast, honestly. So CodeRabbit just finished reviewing my action pull request, and I want to see what exactly, the summary of CodeRabbit is about this pull request and what can we see here. Okay, so let's click on the summary to see what exactly CodeRabbit wrote. So we added a new feature, which is the ability of create messages with name and body. That's true. We had refactored. Ooh, interesting. We indeed renamed the content to be body across the entire application. This will affect API and data outputs. That's true. That's true. So that's very true. This is actually a very good insight, because if we were to rename this a little bit after, potentially like after our application be online and everything, indeed, this would have an effect on the API, okay? I've adjusted the model configuration for simple data creation, indeed, and I've added unit tests for the message creation. Okay, let's see this. Oh my God, this is so good. Check this out. So on the create message action, we are going to create a message using the eloquent model, and we are going to use the create method, which is allowed thanks to mass assignment, which is true. This will insert a new message on the database, which is a persistent record, and that will be returned back to the eloquent model. The eloquent model will return back the message instance, and the message instance will be returned back from the action. This diagram, when doing a big feature, is probably one of my favorite things about CodeRabbit. This beautiful diagram, okay? So let's go all the way down. We get to see as well the possible related pull requests, and this one was related because we added the domain layer for this. Let's see the comments here. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Let's stop here, okay? Let's stop here. So CodeRabbit is saying the following. You should avoid relying on model unguard. Prefer model-level fillables to constrain mass assignments to the name and the body, aka add this to your model, and remove the global unguard. Chat, this is honestly nice feedback. However, it doesn't work with me because I actually prefer model unguard. So I want to know what you guys think, man. I want to know what you guys think. Because on this moment, what I could do, chat, is come here and say, CodeRabbit, I actually enjoy model unguard, so stop being annoying about this, okay? I could technically type this, and if I were to type this, what CodeRabbit would do is that it will understand that Nuno in his team doesn't like that I complain about the unguard, so I will stop doing it. I understand you guys love fillable, but I have my own preferences, okay? I have my own preferences, my own style, okay? So what I will do is tell the following. I actually enjoy model unguard, so stop being annoying about that. So what CodeRabbit will do is that it will learn from this interaction and not complain about this anymore. So this code review was actually super accurate in the sense that we were like in check with everything. We had like the class types on top, we have final read-only classes, we have this action beautiful written, and undeniably the only thing I would probably question is indeed the change we have made here. Okay, this is actually something I have made. Why this is so useful? It's because imagine that you have this huge pull request coming from a junior, for example, okay? Coming from a junior. And during that pull request, you have 1,000 lines changed. And one of them is actually this. You wouldn't see it, but CodeRabbit would. And it will just tell you, you might actually want to not use this. Let me know what you think. Ooh, wait a second. I said I actually enjoy model unguard, so stop being annoying about that. Understood. I understand. I respect your preference for using model unguard. Thanks for the clarification. I won't suggest you replacing it with fillable properties in the future. Thank you. That was a good one, CodeRabbit. That was a good one. Okay, something we need to check too is this nitpick comments. So typically, CodeRabbit will only annoy you about the things that are really important. And today, this model unguard is really important. However, if you click on nitpick comments, you will see a section with things that you might change, but they're optional. You don't have to do it, okay? And the first one is saying is that avoid asserting on the key order. Assert only on the presence of keys. This is so good. Array key order is not guaranteed and can lead to brightly tests. Prefer presence-only assertions. This is so good, chat. This is so good. This is a type of review, again, that you wouldn't get from static analysis, but you get from CodeRabbit. Check this out. It's literally telling you that on the current test, which is this one, you are relying that the very first column being returned will be ID, and the second one will be name. However, This order right here will literally depend on the driver you are using. The database driver will, for example, we are using SQLite for testing, right? So he's literally telling me, just don't rely on order to avoid having to touch on this in the future. Just rely on the presence of those keys. Let's go all the way down. Let's go all the way down. Rename user to message. Oh, literally detected that here I was using, this is a bug indeed, man. Oh my God, CodeRabbit doing his job. That's crazy. Let's click here on tests. So that would be what? In models, message test potentially? Here we go. We literally have a bug. Here we go. So it's literally telling me that I should rename user to message. Nice one. Thank you. That's a nice one. That was a nice review. CodeRabbit is telling me to prevent lazy loading, but Essentials comes with this already. Essentials actually comes with this by default. It's a good suggestion. It's a good suggestion to enable prevent lazy loading and only locally, not in production. Is a good suggestion, but we actually have this already. Let's start with Laravel MCP, I think. The first thing we have to do is run composer require Laravel MCP. So this is the very first thing you have to do. So let's just do that. I'm going to clear my terminal and type composer require Laravel MCP. So that's easy peasy. It will just work. Here we go. The second thing I have to do is publish my AI routes. And if you don't know, by the way, the AI routes you have in your app is literally a way of specifying to Laravel itself which web endpoint will be interacting with agents. The next step is creating the actual servers. So let's type here PHP artisan make MCP server. Let's do that. Here we go. And let's call this Nuno Nation Chat. Okay, that's done. So we have our server created successfully. And the name is indeed Nuno Nation Chat. The version will be 1.0. And this will be the instructions for the LLM. This is probably one of the most important things you guys need to configure when working with LLMs, which is the instructions. This is the place that we are going to tell agents why they should use your MCP tool. So here we are going to type the following. The Nuno Nation Chat server, okay? It's friendly, allows users to have a conversation about various topics. Users can send a message, share their thoughts and engage in discussions. They can get messages to see what others have shared, okay? So this will instruct the LLM what my server is about. Right, so we have the instructions of this server. What else we have? We have tools, we have resources, and we have prompts. So we are going to expose the Nuno Chat server by clicking on ai.php and then doing this. MCP, chat, and this will be serving the Nuno Nation Chat. Beautiful. So we can do this, and let's include this Nuno Nation Chat. This is app. Why is it not importing today? What's happening with my PHP store? Oh, here we go. App MCP servers, bam. So we have this important and exposed on the web. We should be good. I think the next step is creating a new tool. So let's do that. Let's type here PHP artisan make MCP tool. And this one will be send message, okay? All right, so send message got created successfully. We can open tools and open send message. And again, we want to make sure the description is super accurate and good. So what we can do here is type, use this tool to send a message to the chat. What else? Nuno Nation Chat server. So we have that run. What else? We can go all the way down. We have this to do. So this is a to do, indeed. We have to do this. We have the schema. Now, this is important. When you are creating a tool, you want to define the schema. But before we jump into that, I want to register this tool. So what I will do here is rename this to send message tool, and I can copy this class name and move it to my server and use it on this tools array. So let's do that. I'm going to simplify the namespace, so this makes total sense. We have registered the tool. The next step will be defining the schema. What do we need, chat? What do we need to actually receive a message? Well, obviously we need the name. So let's do that, name. And let's create a schema for the name. So this will be a string. The description, actually I'm going to make a string with a minimum of 1, a maximum of 100, indeed. And 100 is, well, 100 is a lot. Let's put 50. And the description will be the name of the user sending the message. Here I want to make this perfectly clear that it's not only this, okay? The name of the user sending the message, okay? And this description is also, this field is also required. So let's make it required, okay? So it's a string, minimum 1, maximum 15, required description. Beautiful. Let's go all the way down and actually do the same thing for the content. So it will be a string, minimum 1, maximum 500. Actually, we can make, yeah, 500 is enough. Well, it's more than enough, yeah. And it's required too. This will be a little bit more simple. All right, so this is the schema. This is a beautiful schema. So we have the schema. So now we can interact with the request, okay? So again, the user goes to cursor and he types, my name is Nuno, say good morning to the Nuno Nation, right? So this is the request that will be received right here. So the first thing we need to do is validate this request. So I'm going to type the following. The name needs to be a string, needs to have a minimum of 1 and max of 50, and is required. And same goes with the content. So the first thing we do is validate the content. While this is the schema, it's not guaranteed to be respected by LLM agents. This is just a public schema. However, on the actual request, you still need to validate everything, okay? So we still do that. We validate the request. Once we are absolutely sure that the request is okay, the next step is interact with this request. So I'm going to persist the name on this beautiful variable and by using this string thing from Laravel, and I'm going to do the same thing with the content. And I'm going to actually get the value instead of getting the stringable instance. So we have the name and we have the content, which is beautiful in a lot of things already. Now, what we can do here is actually just do a pull request already. So we can have CodeRabbit doing a review while we continue to work on this. So let's type here git checkout -p feat MCP. Let's type feat MCP send message perhaps. Okay, so let's do that and let's type git add -p and let's type git commit -m sends feat send message. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. CodeRabbit just finished the review of the pull request that sends a message. Okay, so what we can see here is indeed we introduced a new Nuno Nation chat experience. Okay, we have introduced the possibility of sending a message. That's true. And we have implemented input validation for the name and the content. This is true too. And we obviously have included the new MCP server. Ooh, and he knows it as an MCP server. Interesting. Oh my God, here we go with a nice diagram once again. So this is the user interacts with your AI agent. Your AI agent sends a request to MCP chat, and the MCP chat dispatches that to the Nuno Nation chat server. That will call the send message tool, which will return back a response. That response will be converted to an MCP response, which will be converted to the HTTP response, and that will be used by the client to display an actual message to the user. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Ooh, interesting. You guys remember when we did the instructions of the Nuno Nation chat? We told them, hey, there is two tools. One of them is send message. The second one is get messages. What it's telling me is that be careful because the get messages tool does not exist yet. I love it, honestly. And I have a committable suggestion. I can remove it if I want to. Let's keep it for now because we know it's coming. Let's go all the way down. What else do we have? Oh, interesting. So it's telling me that use the validated inputs. The current response is a placeholder and variables aren't used. Oh, it's telling me that the name and the content is not being used on a response. As such, why do I need these variables to begin with? Diagram was, again, super accurate. Chat. Pay close attention because I'm about to show you the best thing in the planet regarding actions, okay? Actions encapsulate logic. Logic can be used and reused between the various entry points of your app. So what we're going to do is the following. We have this send message tool that creates messages. The message will be created by the web layer, potentially by queue jobs. It doesn't matter. All they have to do is reuse this action. So what we're going to do here is go here and type message action and inject the action that creates the message. All right. So from this point, I can already come here and type the following. I'm going to create the message with that name and then in that content. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now this I call a real demo. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. It's just beautiful. You accept the request, you process the action, and you return a response. How beautiful this code actually is. I love it. I think this is the most beautiful code I've ever wrote in my life. So we have this. We create the action. Okay. So what we can do is return the response back to the agent. And remember, you are talking with the agent. Every time you receive a request and you return a response, you are always interacting with the agent, not the actual user. The user will do his stuff. Here is just the agent. So what we can do here is type markdown and say, your message has been successfully created. Okay, successfully sent to the chat. Here we go. You may show to the user the latest messages by using the get messages tool. Okay, this is beautiful. Because it's good. This is beautiful. The next step is actually testing this. Ooh, code coverage is below expected. Oh yeah, baby. Code coverage currently at 0% on the send message tool. So let's work on this. So the only thing you have to do is go here and create a new folder with the name MCP. And then let's create another folder with the name tools. And finally, let's create another file with the name send message tool test.php. Okay. And we can type the following: validates or name argument actually. Once we do this, what to do is type response equals to NunoNation chat, call the tool method, and this will receive a send message tool. So we are testing this tool in isolation. And the next step is make sure that if we call this without any arguments, and again, we are intentionally not providing any argument here, no argument, we need to check that this is not okay. So we assert to see errors. And one of them is that the name field is required. So let's do that. This should actually be good. Yes, it is. So we're testing already that the name field is required. And we can do the same thing for the body. Let's this time provide actually a name for example. Let's type Mark here. And now the body field is required. Beautiful. We have 2 tests already. This should actually already bump a little bit the coverage. Let's see. By the way, chat, what do you guys think in general about coverage? Do you work hard on having 100% code coverage? Or in general, you think that coverage is useless? What do you guys think? Write down the chat. What do you guys think? So we are with 19% of code coverage, which is not ideal. So let's continue to work on this. So the next step is really make sure the message can be created. So let's type it sends a message. So we call a tool with Mark and hello world. The response should be assert OK, of course. And finally, we should assert C that the message got sent successfully, which is this point right here. So let's just copy this and put it right here. Beautiful. This should actually be accurate too, I think. And it is. We can go all the way down and type here that the message is the very first element on the query. So let's type here this. Here we go. And this will be query first. And expect the message not to be null, the name to be Mark, and the body to be hello world. Okay, how about the coverage now? At 100%. So we are fully testing everything. So we are with 100% test coverage. I think I'm going to push this to see what CodeRabbit has to say about this. Interesting. Oh, interesting. That's actually a good suggestion that I am like 50-50. So CodeRabbit is telling me on this given test, you are validating code, which is true. I'm validating code, so I'm literally providing no name, and I'm expecting this to see. However, if I keep expanding on tests like this, what will end up happening is that I'm literally duplicating tests all the time, right? Imagine if I have a much more complex form request, right? I would basically be repeating myself all the time. And what CodeRabbit has to say about this is, dude, instead of copy-pasting that test all the time, just create a dataset with past PHP. So this is accurate with past PHP. Just create a dataset with the name invalid payloads, where you specify the payload like this, and you also specify the error message, and then just keep reusing that payload. So this pull request is like fully done. We can merge this, and I'm gonna start a new branch with the name fit MCP list messages. This one will be super quick. We just have to type PHP artisan make MCP tool, MCP tool, list messages, or will be just get messages, perhaps. Get messages tool. Okay, beautiful. Got created. Once it got created, we want to run composer lint. So we have this beautifully styled. Here we go. And then we go to the actual server, which is within MCP servers, and we include the get messages tool, okay? So we have it. We can click on it and actually give a description. So let's do that. So this will be, use this tool to get the latest messages from the NunoNation chat. Beautiful. The limit will be an integer, minimum 1, and max will be 100. Default should be 50, and that's the number of messages to retrieve. And we need to validate that limit. Let's type here validate, and the limit will be an integer between 1 and 100 and required. And we get the limit. We can perform the query. So let's type here messages equals to the message model ordered by latest. So query latest. The limit will be the one that the user gave to me. And once we are done, we just get them all. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have messages. Now we need to display this, okay? So this we can do something like this. Here are the latest messages from the Nuno chat We want to do it this way. I think I want to create a variable with the name formatted messages and do it like this. Yeah, 1,000 times better. And now I can use this. And let's create a new test for this. Let's go here, copy paste this and type get messages tool. Here we go. Beautiful. And then we can just clean all of this and type it displays all messages. So let's type function. Let's get a response, and this will be Nuno Nation chat get messages tool. And then we may have to create a message. Let's do that. Message factory with the name test user, test message. Let's grab someone from the chat real quick. Let's call this Emerson Carvalho from YouTube. Love you too. And once we do this, we can type here response, assert OK, and we expect to see Emerson Carvalho on the chat. Let's see how it goes now. So this should be good. It's failing for some reason. It's telling me that get messages tool does not exist. Really? Oh, it's right here. Like what the? Oh, it's not imported. That's why. Okay, makes sense. Okay, there is errors for some reason. Okay, let's DD this to see what errors is like this complaining about. The limit field is required. Okay, this is a bug, not an error. This is literally a bug. Is required? Oh, required, not on the schema, required here. It's not required. This should be optional. How do we do an optional thing in Laravel? It's like sometimes, I think. I don't even know. Oh, it's nullable or whatever, right? Oh, we need a default thing. Here we go. That's why. What is the default? Like 50? Yeah. Call value on integer. Oh, right. There is no value. Here we go. Emerson Carvalho. Love you, Twitch. So what we can do is this. We can run composer lint, and we should be good. I think we finished the app chat. Like, we are going to try this right now. List messages tool. At the moment, this is quite nice because we do this pull request and it will just come to me and review this pull request automatically, which I absolutely love it. And talking about CodeRabbit, I don't know if you guys know, but they also have developed a CLI tool. Okay, I'm going to be honest, I have used the CLI tool, but I just prefer more the actual GitHub UI in their reviews over there, but they also allow you to do code reviews using this small CLI tool, okay? Oh, it's done. All right, chat, we are about to see what CodeRabbit has to say about this last pull request, which is list messages tool. Again, the MCP tool that displays all the messages, okay? So we are targeting main, which is the production branch. And what we are doing on this pull request is view the recent chat messages, which is an adjustable size, default 50, and we add a few tests too. We go all the way down. What else do we see here? We get to see the full architecture of the app, which is lovely. The fully architecture of the app. The AI client will interact with the MCP server, which will call the get messages tool. That will query the latest messages with default 50 by default. The database will return the messages to the get message tool that will return response back to the MCP server, which will respond to the AI client. Very similar with the send message tool. Very similar. However, we also validate the input, create the message, and send back the response. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We have two. It's literally you guys. Like, what the heck, chat? This is actually interesting. You see, chat? This is a type of thing that static analysis won't give you, and CodeRabbit does. So it's telling me the following. The list of ignorable names is static. So if it's static, why the hell are you making that a regular property instead of doing that a constant? That's a nice suggestion. Everyone clapping for CodeRabbit because of this suggestion. That was a nice one. Adjusts suggestions by CodeRabbit. I push this, and now that I'm happy with everything, I can just go all the way down and merge this. So this is going to main. Okay, yeah, this is going to main, meaning that on Laravel Cloud, I should be using main too, and I am. So this is main. Okay, cool. So I can ship this. So let's click on deploy. Oh, it's already deploying. Oh yeah, Cloud has auto deploy, push to deploy. So basically we just push to main. So it's making a deployment already. So what I will do is open this nice application my dear colleague Ashley created, which gives you details installation steps. So you guys can use this with me. So let's call this Nuno Nation MCP chat. This place, this will be this. The actual domain your agents will be using is always the endpoint that you declare here on this routes file. And this will give me detailed installation steps so people can add it to their cursors or to their Cloud Code installations. All right, so I'm going to add this to cursor. I'm going to click add to cursor. This will open the cursor site, which hopefully you can see too. Okay, here we go. So install this MCP server. I'm going to say yes. is loading the tools, and 2 tools are enabled. Okay, this is good. Okay, 2 tools are enabled. So now I have this chat prompt, meaning that this is like ChatGPT, this is Cloud Code. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't really matter. I'm using Cursor because yes, but I could be using Cloud Code, for example. So what I will type here is, hi. I'm literally nervous, dude. Literally nervous at the moment. My name is Nuno. Say hi to the Nuno. And what I expect to happen is that this agent, because he knows that we are using these tools, will automatically understand that he needs to use the Nuno Nation tool. Oh, here we go. I will send a greeting message. Oh my God, so good. I will send a greeting message to the Nuno chat, to the Nuno Nation chat server for you. Do you wish to call this tool? I'm going to run everything with cautious. So I'm going to type run. So the answer was, your message was successfully sent to the chat. You might show the user the latest messages. So it's telling me that I may run this. So let's do that. Oh my God. Your message was successfully sent to the Nuno Chat Nation. There is already some friendly messages from Ian and Ashley. Ian mentioned it enjoying Laravel, and Ashley sent a nice compliment. Oh my God. Right back. This is how natural the language is. Like, you can literally just interact with your AI agent. It will automatically understand what you want to send, what we are trying to read. Isn't this like crazy awesome? Right back that people need to put like on this video and subscribe my channel. So this will again prompt me to send a message. Here we go. I'm going to say yes. Is sending the message. The message was successfully sent. Would you like to call latest messages to see what everyone said? I'm going to say yes, just natural language, and this will answer me back with some real text, hopefully. Yes, I'm going to call the get messages tool. And here we go. Much more messages from people. And you guys are so awesome, by the way. So Pick and Flow is saying, hi, Nuno Nation. Damien is saying, thanks, man. This is awesome. Mark is saying, hi, Nuno Nation. Oh my God. This is so exciting, Chad, honestly. This is so, I'm like speechless, man. I'm speechless. By the way, Chad, huge prompts for CodeRabbit. It did awesome code reviews. And as a reminder, CodeRabbit is absolutely free for open source. It's free for open source. Plus, if you want to try it on your private project, you have 2 weeks for free. So you can leverage all of this for free for 2 weeks, and then let me know what you think. Be sure to be awesome. I love you all. Catch you guys next Monday, and peace out. Boo!